Okay, remind me again the other names. Let me get their names before we go on.
Who's our ref?
Doug Miller's one of them. Welcome to the Terraceum in Mountlake Terrace, home of the Mountlake Terrace Hawks. We have a big basketball game for you tonight. The 5-0 Mountlake Terrace Hawks versus the 4-1 Shorecrest Scots. That's the good news. 9-1 combined record. The bad news for both teams, if you want to call it bad news, neither one of those games counting in the standings yet. This is the opener for Wesco 3A basketball. This is when the wins and losses will start to determine where you end up ranking within your conference and whether or not you can play towards a Wesco 3A championship. Big game tonight. These two teams, whenever they meet up, always in for an interesting clash. Clash of the Titans, if you will. Mountlake Terrace is currently ranked, and according to the Tacoma News Tribune, as the number 3 team in the state for 2A boys. Shorecrest is the number 9 ranked team for the 3A boys. I'm going to give you the starting lineups real quick here as Vince DeMiro is introducing them in the background. We'll go and give you our own rundown here just to make it a little bit easier for Shorecrest. There's Chris Lee, the 6'2" senior guard, one of the better guards in all of Wesco. He's going to wear the number 5 tonight.
5'9" sophomore guard, wearing number 10, Mason Christensen.
Mason Christensen, the super sophomore, if you will, 5'9", having a fantastic year so far. 13 points, 2 rebounds, 2.8 assists also per game. He's your number 2 leading scorer for the Hawks so far. They just announced Antonio Stillwell. He's a 6' junior, number 24. He can shoot. Watched him hit a few three-pointers against Seattle Prep in the season opener. KGZ, Keegan Grayson Zarun, the senior, one of the leaders out here. He had 9 assists in the game against Cedar Crest recently. There's Eladio Fountain, only a sophomore, great football player too. He's the quarterback for the Scots. See what he can do tonight. There he is, number 22, Kyrie Armstead, 22 points per game, 7.8 rebounds, 3 assists, having an all-state caliber year thus far. That doesn't even take into account his defensive prowess. He's gonna have to have a big game tonight. There is one of the big fellas, Calvin Acker, 6'9" junior for Shorecrest, always a presence down low. Mason Peterson, the next player to be announced for the Hawks. He's wearing number 30, he's a 6'3" junior. Peterson so far this year averaging close to 10 points per game. Not to mention he's 42% from the three-point line. There's the big man, Philip Peppel, one of the premier big men in all of Washington State, all 6'9" of him. He's added a three-pointer to his game this year too. You'll definitely see a few dunks throughout the course of the night. We'll see what he can do. And then finally for the Hawks, number 32, that's Brendan Hayes, the 6'4" senior being introduced. Brendan having a nice all-around season so far, averaging close to 11 points per game, not to mention 5 rebounds and almost 2 assists. And at this point, we're going to go ahead and tune our microphones down. It's time for the Pledge of Allegiance. And we are back and just about ready for tip-off. The Hawks wearing the home white uniforms tonight. We've got the forest green of the Scots from Shorecrest, if you will. They're wearing the road uniforms. And with me right now, the junior at Mountlake Terrace and my broadcast partner for the 2017-2018 season, Ben Iman. Ben, you mentioned it to me earlier. You've yet to see Philip Peppel play. You're kind of in for a treat. This is a guy you've heard a lot about, though, right?
Yeah, you know, I've gotten the opportunity over the last year to also edit the Prep Chatter podcast with Steve, and with the Hawkeye. And, you know, I remember having Philip Pebble on. It was a guy we talked about a lot as a guy that definitely has a presence whenever he plays. First time I've gotten the chance to see Shorecrest. The last couple of years we've gone on the road, I remember for those games. But Armstead, Pebble, I think that's going to be a nice matchup to watch. Both these guys premier players.
I should mention Mountlake Terrace 5-0. Shorecrest only one loss, but it was their season opener on the 27th. It's a pretty tough loss, too, at that against Seattle Prep. They've since won 4 games in a row, looking to make it 5. They had wins over Ingram, Shorewood, Skyline, and Kentwood. Always tough conquerors, and they're going to have the ball first. Going down low, Pepple, fadeaway 13-footer from the right side, misses it. Armstead coming away with the rebound. Here come the Hawks, wasting very little time. Christensen kicks it out. Peterson for 3. Off the back iron, bounces around into the hands of Acker. Shorecrest will take their second possession of the game. No score, 30 seconds in.
That's Mason Peterson's shot. He likes that 3-point. Terrace looking like they're going to come kind of quickly tonight.
Fountain, he misses it. Zerone gets it, passes it ahead to Peterson. Breakaway layup. The Hawks are on the board. They've got the early 2-0 lead.
That was just a nice little down-the-court pass. Keegan, also a football player, as we mentioned. Fountain makes that nice, almost full-court pass to Peterson, breaking away for the easy layup.
Keegan's played a little quarterback in his time, too, and he showed it off right there. They're passing the ball around the Hawks, playing man-to-man defense. Acker up on top, being guarded by Armstead. Gets it back out to Lee. They're going to reset the offense. 14 to go here on the shot clock.
Yeah, so far the defense tonight looks like Mason Peterson also shadowing Philip Pebble with Brendan Hayes, not wanting to let him get the ball.
Chris Lee misses the shot. Peterson kicks it ahead to Zerone. Zerone stumbles briefly. Ball is on the ground. Finally picked up. Peterson for 3. Off the back iron. A collision there between 2 of the Scots. Finally coming away with it is Chris Lee, as Antonio Stillwell recognizing that, hey, you're my teammate. I'm going to defer to you on this one. Get it to the point guard, and they're going to reset the offense here. We're now just a little more than a minute and a half into the first quarter. 2-0 Mountlake Terrace in the lead, thanks to a Mason Peterson basket here early on. Lee out on the shoulder, kicks it over to Fountain. Looking down low for Pepple, swings it cross court to Acker. Off to the side. Nice job of boxing out by Armstead. Armstead lets the ball bounce, grabs the rebound. He's going to now push it up, pulls up from the 3-point line. He hits it! Kyrie Armstead with the first tray of the night. The Hawks with an early 5-0 lead.
You know, that's Kyrie. He gets his own board, walks it up the court, finds he has an open shot, and takes it.
Chris Lee right on the other side there, 15-footer. He gets it to fall. Lee averages close to 15 points per game. He's always a threat. He gets the Scots on the board now as the Hawks setting up their offense. 5:38 to go in the first quarter. Christensen, the sophomore, kicking it down low to Armstead. Armstead, a lot of contact, hits the ground, tries to roll a pass out, and does to KGZ, and all of a sudden the Hawks now with 15 on the shot clock, doing a nice job of getting their composure, resetting the offense. Thought Christensen was cutting, he stopped. Lee picks it up, kicks it ahead, the easy layup to Stillwell. No, he misses it. Pepple goes over the back of Hayes, and I think we're going to get our first foul of the game.
Yeah, on that last play was Mason Christensen cutting across. He actually hit the underside of Brendan Hayes, kind of making him stumble. Kyrie made the pass, but no Christensen there to receive it.
No Christensen, but there was a Lee. Unfortunately, he's wearing the wrong colors. Almost 3 minutes into the first quarter here. Clock showing 5:11 right now. Hawks with the 5-2 lead, setting up the offense. Swinging it over to the right this time. Christensen drives baseline, gets swatted by the senior. Big Philip Pepple making his presence known in a big-time sort of way. Fortunately for the Hawks, they will maintain possession.
Yeah, that's just a size difference. That's going to be a hard drive. You know, this Terrace team is not very big. Kyrie and Brendan Hayes being some of their bigger players.
Hayes from 16 feet out, he connects. Hayes with his first bucket of the night, averaging close to 11 points per game. 7-2 Hawks here. Just a little more than 3 minutes gone in the first quarter. Lee being guarded by Zeron. Acker. Fountain in the corner. He throws up a 3. In and out. Nice job by Hayes to box out Pebble. Lets it bounce. Grabs the rebound. Kicks it over to Armstead. Pulls up for 3. Misses it. Goes in for his own rebound. Pepple right there to grab it. He knew that was coming. Kicks it over to Lee. Lee now pushing on the other side. Swings out to the right. He's going to reset the offense here. 4:21 to go first quarter. Fountain once again looking for that shot on the left. He's missed it a couple times already. Misses this one again. Zerun brings it down, pushes forward. He's got numbers. Kicks it out to the left. Christensen drives in, throws up a 10-footer. Swish!
You know, this is definitely kind of something that, you know, the Hawks have struggled with, maybe coming out a bit slower. They've been kind of on the offensive side, but not been able to hit down their shots. That is not happening tonight. Most of the shots they're throwing up are going down, and they've opened up a nice lead.
4 field goals from the Hawks from 4 different players. They've got a 9-2 lead. We're going to take a quick break. You're watching the Hawk Broadcast Network. Welcome back, Steve Willits, Ben Iman from the Terraceum in Mountlake Terrace. The Hawks out to an early 9-2 lead as we're just a little past the halfway point in the first quarter. Mountlake Terrace with 4 different baskets from 4 different players. Shorecrest now looking to try to cut into that lead a little bit. That's Latrell Jones, just came into the game during the break. He misses the shot. Armstead with the rebound, pushes ahead to Christensen. Nice job by Mason, kicks it back to Kyrie, into the corner. Peterson for 3, he hits it! Mason Peterson with 5 points here early in the first quarter. Hawks out to a 10-0 lead already. Here comes Chris Lee. Fumbles the ball away. Christensen grabs it, pushes ahead, 3-on-2, tries to go coast to coast. Jones strips it away, does a nice job, kicks it ahead to Stillwell. Here comes Shorecrest now, into the corner for Chris Lee for 3. He hits.
Chris Lee, 30.
Hawks wasting no time. Back on the other end, Peterson throws up another 3, this time in the left corner, misses it. The big man, Peppel, comes away with the rebound. Shorecrest content slowing this one down into the half-court offense. Antonio Stillwell. Get over to Acker. The big fella's going to shoot a 3 high off the backboard. The sophomore Christensen grabs it. He runs down the other end, floats one up. Ball floats off the back rim, and I think they might be calling this offensive. Let's see what the call is. They, in fact, called Christensen for the charge. First foul against the Hawks. Clean game so far. We're 5 minutes and 16 seconds in. That was the first foul against Mountlake Terrace, and Shorecrest only with 1 as well, and that was on Peppel.
That's somebody to set a precedent for later, Steve. Maybe some of these close calls aren't going to get called.
Shorecrest swinging the ball around. Lee drives baseline, floats one up. Nice job, gets it to go off the backboard. Lee with all 7 of the Scots points here in the first quarter. 12-7, Hawks out in the lead. Zaran being guarded very closely. That's Jack Sims who's in the game for the first time. 5'9" sophomore. Down low, Armstead wide open, lays it up and in from the left side. Give Christensen the assist on the play. Armstead now with 5 here in the first quarter. 14-7 game Hawks. J.D. Scott, number 10, also checking in at the last timeout. He's over on the left side. They're swinging it around nicely. Sims back out to Stillwell. Stillwell floats up a 3, nothing but the bottom of the net. 14-10, Shorecrest making a nice little run here now. They were down 12-2. Since then, they're on an 8-2 run of their own to cut this Hawks lead within 4. And there's a steal. Scott taking it away. We get a foul called against the Hawks. It looked as though Mason Peterson might have pulled something in his ribcage area as he's wincing right now. Add insult to injury, he also gets called for a foul on the play. Second team foul against the Hawks, and Peterson will go to the bench as Connor Williams will check in for the first time tonight, the 5'9" senior. Oh, Peterson did stand, okay. Shakes that off a little bit, so we'll see how they do there. we got a couple of them there. They're gonna say that pass was not touched as they tried to go down to Chris Lee down low. Lee trying to shield his body away from the Hawks defenders, and in the process was not able to extend his arm out far enough to get the ball before it went out of bounds. Mountlake Terrace will take possession right now. Grayson Zerone drives into the lane, floats it up high off the backboard, off the hands of Peppel, into the outstretched arms of J.D. Scott. The Scots will come away with that rebound as we now start to get towards the 1 minute mark. Pepple lays it up, gets it to go, draws the foul. He'll go to the line with the and one opportunity as Pepple scores his first bucket of the night, and all of a sudden Shorecrest has a chance to make this a 1-point game. Hayes picks up the foul, his first, third team foul against the Hawks. 1:02 to go here in the first quarter. Pepple has that one bounce around and finally gets it to drop. The first free throw attempt from either team in the game. There's an interception by Stillwell. Going up against Armstead, swings it from right to left, I should say. Lee throws that one up high off the backboard. Williams gets the rebound. He's going to try to push ahead. Into the lane, fakes one guy out. Pepple comes over, blocks the shot. Hawks coaches want goaltending. They're not going to get it. Shorecrest not wasting any time. They come right back down. Sims into the lane. Pepple lays it up and in. And for the first time tonight, Shorecrest has taken the lead thanks to a 13-2 run. It is now 15-14 Scots. Shot clock turned off with 24 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, that's definitely the difference maker Philip Pebble can be. A couple of blocks now early on, is able to go down the other end. He's starting to heat up.
Especially when you're able to block it and keep it in bounds, which he did that time. The first block early on, he knocked it out of bounds. This time he was able to keep possession for his team. We're now down to 6 seconds to go in the first quarter. Peterson thought about a long three, kicks it out to Armstead. He fires it up off the rim, comes it down into the hands of the awaiting Chris Lee, and the first quarter comes to an end. The tale of two halves of a quarter, really. Mountlake Terrace jumping out to a 12-2 lead. Shorecrest then goes on a 13-2 run. Scots lead 15-14 as we head to the second quarter of play. You're watching the Hawk Broadcast Network. And we are back again. It is the second quarter underway. The Hawks trailing 15-14, and with the call here in the quarter, Ben Iman.
Thank you, Steve. Keegan Grayson will start with this ball. Finds Mason Peterson. Hawks going from right to left. Brendan Hayes back to Peterson. Finds Connor Williams in the left corner. He'll drive. Finds Hayes, top three. Bang, knocks it down. Brendan Hayes with a big three to open up the quarter. Hawks back in the lead, 17-15.
And that's where you find out what teams are made of right there. You get up to that 10-point victory in the lead. All of a sudden you let the lead slip away, and it's what can you do now? Are you going to let yourself fade away at that point, or are you going to fight through it? And so far the Hawks off to a nice start.
Yeah, Shorecrest made a substitution during that change. Jack Sims is into the game. Philip Pebble goes to the bench. Going to take a short breather. But Stillwell has the ball, top key. Picks up his dribble, swings it into the corner. That's 10, J.D. Scott. Back up to Stillwell. He'll reset the offense. He finds Sims. Sims will go to Acker, top three. He'll go down low. Shot up. That's number 5, Chris Lee, and they'll say he got fouled on his way up. He'll go to the line, shoot 2.
Yeah, that one we could actually hear from Harris Peterson getting a lot of wrist on that play. It almost sounded like a high five. Unfortunately for the Hawks, not permitted when you're playing basketball, and Lee will hit to the line for 2.
That's Mason Peterson's second foul. 4th team foul on the Hawks. Lee will miss his first free throw as it rattles in and out.
Next ball checking for the Hawks.
And Max Hull's going to check in for the Hawks. Brendan Hayes is going to take a breather. Going to take that back. Mason Peterson's going to come to the bench, take a break. First time I've got the opportunity to see Max Hull. He is nursing somewhat of an injury. Good to see him back on the floor.
Yeah, only played 2 games so far this year as Lee hits the second shot.
Grayson will take the ball, guarded by Jack Sims. Shorecrest putting a little bit more of a court pressure on. Here's Connor Williams, left side, screened by Hull. Finds Hayes, top key, will go down to Max Hull. Hull spins, works. His layup is off the back iron and out. Now here's Antonio Stillwell. Guarded by Kyrie Armstead. He finds J.D. Scott. Scott in. Goes to Chris Lee. Lee was trying to find the pass. Left side, no one there. Pass is out of bounds.
He had the right idea. Acker spinning off of his defender towards the hoop, and if he could have just thrown that ball accurately, Acker would have had an easy layup. Unfortunately for the Scots, he needed to throw that just a little bit further to his right. Ball goes out of bounds, and the Hawks now have a chance to extend their 1-point lead.
17-16 now. Here's Keegan Grayson. Mason Christensen is checked back in this game for Brendan Hayes. Max Hole will set the screen for Christensen. He finds Connor Williams. He'll drive to the hole. He'll kick to Kyrie Armstead, who tries to go reverse lane, misses, gets his own rebound, and gets rejected. They're actually going to call a foul. We'll see who this is on.
Armstead is fouled.
Armstead will go to the line.
Jones with his first.
We call that one on Latrell Jones. Nice job by Armstead, too. Getting to the reverse layup. Missed it, had it immediately blocked, but knew that that ball was coming right back towards him. Part of that was instinct, part of that was just basketball IQ, and Kyrie able to grab it and go back up again and draw the foul.
Armstead will miss his first free throws. It rattled off both irons and back out. 6:22 remaining in the second quarter. Hawks lead by 1. Kyrie goes 0 for 2 from the line. Unusual of him. Not man to normally miss his free throws. Do want to mention Philip Pebble back into the game for Shorecrest. Only a quick breather for him.
Yeah, Armstead is 72% shooter on the year. Needs to hit those.
Here's Latrell Jones. He'll find Chris Lee in the corner left side. He'll drive and loses the ball out of downs. He'll say it was tipped off a Hawk, and Shorecrest will retain the possession. Keegan Grayson's going to come and take a breather. Brendan Hayes back into the game. Keegan Grayson, not normally someone who gets a breather, but with the addition of Max Hole back in the lineup, maybe someone who will get more rotation and timeout.
And in a game like this where you know it's going to be physical, it's going to be fast, it's nice to have rotating players in and out of there and get guys breathers and let them come in full speed more often.
They'll go down to Pebble. Collapsed on by 3, and wow, what a shot, Philip Pebble. 3 guys on him, got some contact, and he still knocks it down.
Yeah, Pebble showing that he's got that fadeaway shot that is just deadly at the high school level, hard to defend.
Max Hull will kick it to Brendan Hayes, who shoots a 3. It's off the iron, but Connor Williams will come out with it. Williams will find Christensen top and reset the offense. Hull coming up. He'll set a screen for Mason Christensen. He'll find Connor Williams, right side. He'll drive into the lane, and he's fouled from behind. A hard foul. But Connor Williams will go to the line now and shoot 2.
Williams is fouled.
Everyone, tell them.
That foul, they'll go on J.D. Scott. It'll be his first. Third team foul on the Scots.
Again, for the most part, the referee's letting these guys play tonight. Only 7 fouls here, and we're already 2.5 minutes into the second quarter of play.
Connor Williams will not miss his first shot off the front iron. So far, Hawks 0 for 3 from the line.
And this is a Hawks team that's shooting 75% as a team this year. Williams coming into the night 5 for 6 on the year. He hit this last one now, and
he will knock down the second. Bounced around, but finds its way in. 18-18 the game. 5:28 remaining in the half. That pass long thrown. Kyrie with the steal, and he loses that ball out of bounds. They say he touched the end line, decides to do some push-ups, and then gets back up.
Nice job by Connor Williams. He actually initially got his hand on that ball, slowed it up. Kyrie trying to save it before it went out of bounds, just couldn't quite come up with it, but a nice job by both players playing defense on the play.
Here's Chris Lee for Shorecrest. He'll make its way down to J.D. Scott in the corner. Up top, that's Latrell Jones. He'll swing to Chris Lee. Swung now to Jones. Now to Stillwell. Back to Jones. Thought about a shot. Decides against it to J.D. Scott. Jones, he will have a shot, a long 3, and it's way off the mark. Rebounded Kyrie.
And if Kyrie doesn't grab that, the shot clock was going to expire. That ball did not hit the rim, and he didn't fire up that shot till there was 4 left on the clock.
We're going to have a pause in action.
Oh, shot clock was never reset after it went to double zeros there, so they're going to call a timeout. By the way, kind of a cool story here. Doug Miller is one of our referees tonight. The other 2, Sam Gunning and Dave Gunning, father and son. So we got son, who is handing the ball in right now, father, who's working the baseline right now, Sam the son, Dave the dad.
Quite interesting. Mason Christensen will have the ball. Will swing to Williams, left side, screened by Hayes. Here's Hull working up outside the three-point line. He finds Hayes, who's open for three. Closed down by two, but it's too late. Brendan Hayes knocks down the three. His second. 21-18 Hawks lead, 4:24 remaining in the half. Lee will go to Jack Sims, who's guarded by Williams, screened by Pebble. Here's Stillwell, his shot. That's gonna find its way in. Antonio Stillwell with a three-point response. He's got 6 tonight, 21-21, 4:10 remaining in the half.
We mentioned it earlier, Stillwell can shoot the three. He's got 2 already tonight, 1 in the first quarter, 1 in the second quarter. That's really what his game is. So they just need to know that when he gets that ball out on the perimeter, he'll be ready to shoot.
Here's Armstead, he'll find Christensen in the corner working. Hull coming down and will set the screen. Looks like we're gonna have an offensive foul on Max Hull. That'll be the 5th team foul on the Hawks. Kind of an unfortunate call. Here's Lee. Armstead will pick him up. Into Sims, right side. Pebble with the screen. Sims finds Jones, who finds Stillwell. Back to Lee. Here's Pebble, top of the key. He adds that three. Shot off the mark, rebound Connor Williams. He's gonna push. Over the end line he comes. Connor Williams into the lane, he'll kick. Brendan Hayes pulls up. Off the mark. Armstead almost there with the rebound, not able to get it. Shorecrest throws it long. That was Antonio Stillwell with an awkward layup, almost finds its way in. Back come the Hawks. Christensen into the lane. And a foul is gonna be called, and it's gonna be it's like an offensive foul on Mason Christensen.
And give credit where credit is due. And I saw that one coming a mile away. Chris Lee doing a very nice job of, he knew that was coming. Chris Lee just held his ground, and really, a player like Christensen, he's a young player. He's got to recognize that, because really Lee was set in place a good 10 or 15 feet out from where Christensen initially started at. At some point, he's got to either pull up or he's got to kick it out.
Here's Jones. He'll find his way over to Jack Sims. Sims will swing it to Stillwell. Pebbles comes in screen. Christensen plays off. Stillwell will pull up. Off the mark. Rebound Armstead. He'll bring it up over the half line. Armstead finds Hull. Oh, and that pass just over Max Hull's head, out of bounds. And Terrace, who started out very hot, Steve, making some easy mistakes now here as Keegan Grayson's going to grab Christensen. But these are the mistakes you can't make in these kind of games.
Yeah, I think Kyrie knows it too. He's shaking his head. He's talking to himself. He had Hull wide open. Just needed Hull to be about 7'5". Unfortunately for him, Max Hull's 6'3".
21-21, 2:40 to go. Sims has the ball. Up top, spins, guarded by Connor Williams. He'll kick it to Jones. Jones will bring it right side. Connor Williams dives in there, gets the steal, and it's going to come off his foot. And Shorecrest is going to keep the ball with 16 to shoot. Brendan Hayes just couldn't get that rolling ball. Mason Peterson's going to check back in for Max Hull. Max Hull getting some good minutes. Played well, just unfortunately not able to find the basket so far.
Yeah, he did play well. And Connor Williams on that last play, by the way, that went off his back heel. And unfortunately for him, I think it was one of those plays where he stepped backwards trying to get away from the ball. And when he did, he caught the ball itself, kicked it right out of bounds, and therefore Shorecrest has a chance to take the lead.
Here's Lee. Pebble will come and screen. Mason Peterson will play off. He'll go to the lane, and that's just a nice layup for Chris Lee.
And that's what Lee does right there. That's his game.
Armstead will bring it back the other way, and gets blocked. Looks like by Latrell Jones. Chris Lee will pick the ball up, looking to advance the Shorecrest lead. He'll drive in, layup through contact. Philip Pebble grabs that ball nearly seconds after it falls off the lane and throws it down. He didn't even have to jump.
It's a nice security net there. When you're Chris Lee and you know you can get to the hoop, even if you miss it, you got number 55 to clean up the glass for you.
Kyrie trying to dribble. He's going to be fouled. Will be the fourth foul on Shorecrest. Second foul on Latrell Jones. Inbound to Armstead. Finds Hayes. Hayes will pull up and shoot a three just off the mark. 1:43 to go, 21-25. Shorecrest leads. Here's Lee. We'll swing it over to Jones. Stillwell. Sims in the corner. Back to Jones. Back to Sims. And Sims, it's going to go off the foot. Connor Williams, a kick ball. Now reset the shot clock.
Yeah, 1:26 to go, and really right now the Hawks down by 4. Would love to kind of cut into that lead before the, or that deficit before the half. Right now with Shorecrest working as much time off the clock as they can, trying to get the play they want.
Here's Sims. He'll find Jones. Jones will go to Stillwell. Stillwell to Lee in the right corner, guarded by Armstead. Jones with the screen. Lee guarded well, finds Pebble. Pebble will swing to Sims. Sims finds Stillwell. Pebble will screen. He'll drive. Goes up through contact and nice layup. Antonio Stillwell, 27-21. Shorecrest leads under a minute to go in the half.
A beautiful runner by Stillwell. Got the play he wanted. Got a nice look. Floated it up. Nothing but net.
Here's Peterson to Hayes. Swing it back to Peterson to Williams, who'll pull up for three. Connor Williams knocks that three down. Big three from him.
Yeah, Hawks needed that to stop the bleeding as Shorecrest was on a nice little run there. Gets that lead down from 6 to 3, cuts it in half.
27-24, under 32 seconds to go. Sims will find Lee. Lee will go down low to Pebble. Three guys pick him up. Going through contact and will just throw it down. I mean, I guess if you got the size, might as well fill a Pebble. Another dunk. Mason Peterson open on the corner. Court sets up and just off the mark. Chris Lee will come away with the rebound and bring it up and over. No shot clock. He can take as much time if he wants. And it looks like Shorecrest is just going to hold for the final shot. Lee, Pebble is just going to, Lee's just going to pull up and he's going to knock it down. Here comes Shorecrest. Connor Williams just throws up a long three over the top of the backboard. And we've reached halftime here at the Terraceum. And Shorecrest, who came out kind of cold, looks like Terrace might just break away from this one, said, no, you don't, and pulls them back in and leads by 8 at the half, 32-24.
Yeah, 17-10 quarter for Shorecrest. Philip Pebble, 6 points. Chris Lee, 6 points. Stillwell adds the other 5. They're the only 3 guys that scored the entire quarter. Hawks have their work cut out for them at halftime. We're going to take a break right now. Again, 32-24 here at the Terraceum. The Hawks trail. You're watching the Hawk Broadcasting Network. Welcome back to the Terraceum, and we are just about ready for the second half. The Shorecrest Scots, with that 4-game winning streak, they lead Mountlake Terrace 32-24 at the half. Let's get you caught up on some of the individual numbers so far. For Shorecrest, it's very easy. 3 players accounting for all 32 of their points. Chris Lee, 13 of those points. Antonio Stillwell with 8. And then the big man, Philip Peppel, with 11. Surprisingly enough, Shorecrest only shooting a grand total of 3 free throws in the entire first half. They're 2 for 3 from the line. You look at Mountlake Terrace, a little more balance. Mason Christensen with 2 points. Connor Williams with 4. Kyrie Armstead with 5. Mason Peterson 5. And then Brendan Hayes leading the scoring with 8. 6 of those coming off 3-pointers in the second quarter. Hawks, who jumped out to a 12-2 lead in this game, have since been outscored 30-12. They need to get something going here as we go into the second half of play. Ben Iman, we talked about it at the beginning of the broadcast, your first introduction to watching Philip Peppel play. Impressed?
Very much. I mean, you just, but minus the fact that he's 6'9", you just always know where he's on the court. I mean, every time he gets a ball anywhere near the basket, the Hawks shift 3 defenders out on him. I mean, and even that's not stopped him. He's got a fadeaway, he's got a 3-point, he can just go up over you and dunk. I mean, if Terrace is going to come back and win this game, they got to figure out a way to slow down Lee and Peppel.
They're going to have to slow him down here to start the half because Shorecrest has the ball. Ben Iman, take us away here.
Thank you, Steve. Chris Lee will take the inbounds pass to start the second half. He's guarded by KGZ. Lee will find, he's going to swing over to 24. That's Stillwell. Here's Acker. Back over to Lee, and he'll reset the offense. Sends Eladio Fountain into the corner. Acker with the right side. Back to Lee. Here's Fountain. Just looks for a 3. Spins. He'll drive in. Good defense by Mason Peterson. Grabbed by KGZ and pushes the floor. Here's Keegan. Pull up. Jump stop at the corner. Off the mark. Rebound, Philip Peppel.
That last possession by Shorecrest, give Brendan Hayes a lot of credit. He doesn't get the rebound on the stat sheet, but he boxed out Peppel to make sure that the Hawks were able to get that ball.
Here's Stillwell. He'll swing over into the corner. Here's Lee. Lee to Acker. Acker back to Lee. Left side, 3-point. Off the back iron. Mason Christensen, who went up for it, but Eladio Fountain's going to go up over the top. It's going to be his first foul.
First team foul in the second half.
Fountain needs to be a little careful there, too. He slammed that ball down after he got called for the foul, and if he had thrown that maybe just a little bit harder, he could have been teed up for it. Good no call. I don't want to necessarily see the refs get too carried away with that, but again, got to watch the frustration sometimes when you're a player and you're in a game like this.
Here's Peterson. He'll find Keegan Grayson. Over to Brendan Hayes, top of the court. He'll find Kyrie. Kyrie will drive. Kick to Mason Peterson. 15 on the shot clock. And that pass is going to go straight to Chris Lee. Turnover. Lee will drive. Finds Acker. Acker to Peppel. Guarded by Hayes. Fade away. Up and good. Philip Peppel has the first points of the second half. 34-24.
Again, it's a fadeaway shot. When you're 6'9" and you've got a nice, sweet fadeaway like that, there's no way you can defend it. Acker with a steal.
Hayes is going to have that one stolen away by Acker. Here's Fountain in the lane. He'll put it up, and it's off the mark. Rebound Peppel. He misses. A putback that he hasn't missed a lot. Brent Hayes comes away from that one well. He'll push the floor. Here's Keegan Grayson. The Hawks need to find something. He's going to drive, and a blocking foul is going to be called on Antonio Stillwell. That's his second team foul for Shorecrest.
That's actually going to be called on Acker.
Acker, excuse me.
Acker with the body check on Grayson there as he was trying to go baseline, and Keegan forces Acker into his first foul.
Here's Armstead, a quick pass up to him. He's going to miss the layup, wanted a call, not going to get it. Here's Chris Lee. He'll drive the floor quickly, picked up by Mason Peterson. Kick.
3-second violation called against Shorecrest.
3-second violation, yeah, indeed. Hawks are going to get a break, get a kind of lucky break on that one as Shorecrest moved the ball quickly. Hawks were able to set up on defense.
Peppel just a little too much camping in that key. He was ready to go. And
here's Keegan Grayson. He'll bring it up over the halfway line. Swings to Brendan Hayes and into Mason Peterson this right side. Hawks moving from left to right. Christensen picked up by Peppel. Here's Armstead guarded by Lee. He'll try to go down low to Keegan Grayson. Turned over. It was Peppel who tipped that one away. Here's Chris Lee. He'll drive. Up he goes, and he lays it up and in. Chris Lee with the layup in through Brendan Hayes. Here's Keegan Grayson. Hawks maybe seeming a bit frustrated. Here's Armstead. He'll lay that one up and in a bit hard, but it does go down. First point for the Hawks in the second half.
Beautiful pass by Grayson Zerone there as he faked a pass to the right side. Knew he had Kyrie over to the left, just dropped it off to him, easy bucket.
It's Fountain. He'll find Stillwell to Lee. Lee will drive. Back out to Fountain. Fountain will pull up from the elbow. That's a toilet, but it goes down. Fountain's got his first points of the game. 38-26. Here's Peterson. Picks his dribble up, looking for a pass. He'll find Keegan Grayson. Top key will set the offense up. Hawks team maybe seeming a bit frustrated, not being able to really get anything. And that's just a bad pass.
And unfortunately, not the first bad pass of the third quarter. They've thrown it away. They've thrown it to defenders. They've thrown it carelessly. And they're starting to throw this game away if they're not careful.
Terrace kind of cooled off near the end of that first half. This second half not doing much better. Terrace, they're going to take their first time out. It's a 30-second call by Coach Sood. And, you know, Steve, if they're not careful, this one could easily get away from them. You know, we saw this at the end of the first half, you know, bad passes. That's carried over here even through halftime.
I think it's even more so here in the second half. I think in the first half, they were just not getting some of those balls to drop. I mean, they floated balls into the middle. And when you've got a guard like Chris Lee, he anticipates those kind of passes. He's waiting for it. You can't get reckless. We saw, I think it was Peterson threw one that he was able to get right in front of into the key a few minutes ago. We saw Kyrie Armstead get a little bit lackadaisical with a bounce pass. We just saw Grayson not on the same page with his guard and threw it right out of bounds on the sideline. This is a team you cannot afford to do that against. You need every opportunity you can. You need to score, especially when you're down by 12. They need to clean that up.
Especially for Kyrie, you know, Terrace's big player. Threw one over Max Holzhead in the first half. Has gone 0 for 2 from the line. He's really got to dig in deep. Armstead guarded by Lee. Bats his pass. Lee gets away though, still in, he'll drive, wants a foul, and he gets it. A late call, but a call nonetheless.
It's the right call. Hayes making a lot of contact with him as he got in the lane there.
Hayes with his second.
Chris Lee, that's what again, he's what you want in a point guard. He's got the big body too. He's able to cut into the lane, and he knows how to draw contact. He knows how to get to the line, and these are the opportunities that he creates for himself.
Chris Lee, his first free throw, a bit hard off the back iron. Substitution now, Fountain will go to the bench. It's Latrell Jones back into the game. Latrell Jones got to be a bit careful playing with 2 fouls. Lee will knock down his second free throw. Goes 1 for 2 from the line, 39-26. Zerone will find Peterson back out.
Another close pass there as Lee almost able to get his hand on that one.
Here's Christensen. Back out to Keegan, he'll set up. He's guarded by Latrell Jones. He'll spin, finds Hayes, into the corner. Here's Peterson. Peterson finds Christensen. Christensen to Hayes, tipped away. It's Antonio Stillwell. Stillwell go to the rack, and he'll lay it up and in. It's another lackadaisical missed pass. Here's Armstead, he'll get around Lee, goes to the rack, up and over Acker, just a bit hard. Comes out Peterson, he'll shoot a 3. Just off the mark. Armstead trying to tip it away. But he's got 2 6'9" guys around him, and it's gonna be a hard rebound for him any day. Here's Lee now. He'll go down low. That's number 30, Latrell Jones, who'll lay it up and in. 43-26, Shorecrest slowly beginning to pull away. Here's Peterson now, left side, guarded by Acker. He'll go down low to Armstead. Armstead picked up by Lee. His shot off the mark, goes for the rebounds out of bounds, and Armstead slaps the floor right there. That is the Hawks' frustration. Not able to get much going. They've got 2 points in this half. Christensen's going to come out, Connor Williams back in, but Steve, it's nothing's changing.
And you're starting to see the frustration. I think it's almost as though they're starting to press a little bit right now. They're starting to push just a little bit too hard. They're out of the rhythm, they're out of their game, and they're not getting points.
You know, this is something that, you know, Terrace hasn't really faced all season, and that's a deficit or really much of a close game. Most of their games have been, well, besides that Kamiak game, they haven't really placed anyone close.
No, they've averaged outscoring their opponents by 31 points per game so far this year. This is definitely uncharted waters for them this season.
Here's Lee. He finds Sims, who's checked in the game. Jones knocks down a 3, and Shorecrest is feeling everything going down for them. 46-26, they lead by 20. 3 minutes to go in the third quarter.
And hate to have to do this to remind everybody, Hawks were up 12-2 at one point. Since then, 44
Mason
to 24.
That one's off the front iron. Latrell Jones going to push the floor. Spins, finds Stillwell. He'll put it up. That one's off the mark. Pebble tries to get the rebound.
Actually, I misspoke. 44-14 is the run that Shorecrest is on. Just absolutely destroying the Hawks.
We're going to call a foul on Philip Pebble. A push when he tried to go up and grab that board. 3 fouls for Shorecrest early on in this third quarter. 2:42 remaining in it. Still a 20-point lead. Keegan Grayson will bring it up. Hawks not trying to change up. They're going to still run their offense. They're still going to play their game. Williams will find Armstead, guarded by Lee. Back to Williams. He'll put up a 3. Sims kind of gave him the room, and there's Connor Williams, big 3. That may be the spark they need. Connor Williams coming off the bench. He's got 6 tonight. Excuse me, he's got 7 tonight.
Yeah. And, you know, coming into the game, Williams was 7 for 14 from the three-point line, so he's certainly capable of heating up. He was 6 for 10 from the three-point line in the last 3 games alone.
Got a foul on Armstead as the press is happening. Latrell Jones to inbound. He'll find Chris Lee, who fumbles that ball away, was able to regain. Keegan Grayson will pick him up. Connor Williams tips that one away. Mason Peterson wins the ball and finds Connor Williams. Williams, nice pass to Armstead. Armstead not able to control it, but he still manages to keep the ball. He'll drive in and loses the ball out of bounds. But Connor Williams has come into this game and he's like, you know, I'm not going to let this Terrace team slow this up away. Got a tipped pass that Peterson was able to keep alive. Big 3-point. He's really playing hard. That's what the Hawks need right now.
And Peterson, really, he was the one that made that play happen. Stole it away, knocked it away, saved it from going out of bounds, got it ahead to Williams. Again, Williams and Kyrie just not quite able to make the connection there on the layup. Unfortunately, it cost the Hawks what could have been and should have been 2 points.
Looks like a foul called here. That one's probably going to be on Hayes. It is indeed on Brendan Hayes. That's going to be his 3rd. Got a little bit of a bump. I mean, I feel like as we've reached the second half, the refs may be getting a little bit more stricter on these calls, not quite letting them play as much as they want to. As Jones pulls up a 3. And they're going to get a foul on him out for the rebound. Latrell Jones grabbing onto Mason Peterson after that. That's going to be Latrell Jones' 3rd. 14 fouls for Shorecrest.
Still impressed. I mean, you mentioned that they're calling a few more, but really not that many. Only 7 fouls combined between these two teams in the second half. Really a relatively clean game thus far. And other than Jones with his 3 and Hayes with his 3, nobody else really even remotely close to being in foul trouble right now.
1:39 remaining in the third quarter. Peterson will swing it to Hayes. He'll find Armstead. Armstead's going to drive. Kyrie Armstead, reverse layup. That one rims off. Armstead not able to find the basket so far except for once in this quarter. Here's Lee. He'll swing it to Sims, guarded by Connor Williams. That's Stillwell. Finds Sims in the corner. He's going to put it up. And it goes down.
It's just one of those nights. I mean, Sims draining a long 3. We saw earlier another long one from, I think it was Fountain. I mean, shots that you don't normally see going.
Peterson with a long 3 will knock that one down. Mason Peterson trying to keep this Hawks team in it, 49-32. Here's Chris Lee. He finds Stillwell, who'll drive into the floor, and they're going to get a blocking foul on Connor Williams. The shot's going to go down. And I don't know about that one, Steve.
I hate to say it, but I think it was the right call again. Connor doesn't need to be shuffling his feet when he gets in there. And give Stillwell a lot of credit there. Stillwell knew that he had Williams tailing him, put on the brakes, went right into him, and Connor was shuffling those feet just ever so slightly. And when you do that, they're going to call it on the other side of the ball.
Stillwell will go to the line for the 3-point play and knock it down. 52-32. Here's Grayson, lead still 20. Finds Hayes. Hayes will find Peterson. Stillwell jumps the pass. Peterson able to hang on to it, though. Here's Hayes. He's got a 3 off the iron. Keegan Grayson wanted a foul on the rebounding end. Armstead is going to get a loose ball steal. This is maybe what the Hawks need. Here's Grayson. Pulls up around him, and he'll pull up. And he knocks it down. Keegan Grayson. It's his first 2 of the night. 52-34, 17 seconds remaining in the quarter. Shot clock off. Chris Lee's going to hold for one more final shot.
Yeah, smart move here if you're Shorecrest. You've got the 18-point lead. Don't give the Hawks another opportunity.
Lee will drive. He'll kick it. That's Jones. Airballs it. Here's Armstead. He'll try to push the floor, get one more. He puts it up off the top of the rim. Excuse me, off the top of the backboard. And that'll go out. We've reached the end of the third, and the Hawks kind of need some sort of miracle here. Down big, 52-34, the Scots lead. And really, Steve, this lead is simply on Hawks' mistakes, and the Shorecrest Scots have been capitalizing on them.
It's on Hawks' mistakes, and it's also on Shorecrest getting a little bit hot on the perimeter. They're knocking down some big shots when they've had them. Again, Jack Sims, a player you don't normally worry too much about, hits that big three. We saw earlier, I guess it was Latrell Jones also hitting a three, kind of uncharacteristically, as it's not usually something we see from him very often. And really, it goes right back to the fact that the Hawks are so used to being opportunistic, creating offensive opportunities with their defense. They're not doing that so much tonight. And when they have been in the half-court offense, they just keep squandering opportunities away. And a lot of it's those lackadaisical passes. And sometimes it just almost feels like it's not your night. Kyrie Armstead having one of those right now. He's gotten to the hoop a few times. He's had a few opportunities with reverse layups that just haven't quite gone. And again, that goes back to also Shorecrest being so big in the middle and forcing him out of his game a little bit. He has to kind of alter his shot a little bit, whereas normally when he's playing against shorter opponents, he doesn't have to do that as much.
Exactly. We'll see if the Hawks can come back out hot. Looks like a smaller lineup. Kyrie's actually going to go to the bench and sit for a little bit. It's not something we see a lot, but they will come out. Peterson will inbound. Looks like Keegan Grayson will take this inbound to start.
And here we go to start the fourth quarter as the Hawks trying to get it in there, almost knocking it away. That was number 30, Jones, trying it. Keegan Grayson's a run into the lane, kicks it out. Williams for three. That's what the Hawks needed. Connor Williams, Mr. Opportunity. He heard it knock, and he drains his third three of the game. What was once a 20-point deficit is now 15, and the Hawks just have to start chipping away. Hopefully that's the start of something special. We'll see what they can do here. Right now they've got to play a little defense as Jones with the ball. Right wing kicks it out on top. Sims with an open look. He answers. Jack Sims with his second three here in the half, making it a 18-point lead once again. Connor Williams, he was going to try for his second three of the quarter. This time he fires it over the rim. Chris Lee awaiting that ball, brings it down the other side. Scott kicks it back out to Jones. Shorecrest, really no need to rush things here. They've got the lead. They might want to eat some of this clock up, and that's exactly what they're doing. Unless they get a good look like that. Philip Peppel, what do you do with that? 6'9", fade away, and the Hawks almost throw that one away as Jones knocks it down. Philip Peppel is special.
Yeah, you know, that's Peppel's shot. The fade away down by the baseline, he's gonna knock that down all day.
You just can't stop it. I mean, if he's getting that to drain, I mean, the Hawks have tried to crash down on him a few times, but in a situation like that, it's one-on-one. He just goes over the top of his opponent. If he's hitting it, you just have to hope that at some point he starts missing and be ready for it. Williams into the key, kicks it out, right side. Hayes for three, rims it out. Williams tries to knock it away and does. Hits it right into the hands of Zerone. Nice hustle by Connor Williams. Keegan very wisely says, you know what, we're gonna reset the offense here. Again, trying to not rush things too much yet. At some point, that clock is something you're gonna have to start dealing with and dealing with quite heavily. But right now, the Hawks wanting to set their offense, wanting to make the most of this possession. They do need a score, though. They're down by 20. Hayes in the lane, up underneath, finally fades away, puts it up from 10 feet out, gets it to rim off, comes down into the hands of Jones. Brendan Hayes getting the look he wanted. Nice job as Peppel was ready to go and ready in his face, and Hayes still finding an opportunity to potentially score.
That's just, you know, that's been a lot of the shots, and for the Hawks tonight, it's, you know, Shorecrest, it seems like every shot they put up has been going down. For Terrace, not so much. It's been, you know, a lot of rims, a lot of backboards, and it's just unfortunate.
We're going to get a call away from the ball against Mountlake Terrace as Brendan Hayes picks up foul number 4. Fifth foul against the Hawks here in the half. 5:58 to go as Antonio Stillwell, who's done a lot of damage here tonight already, he checks back into the game and brings his 13 points tonight with him. Sims, the sophomore, doing a nice job with a couple threes tonight, showing that he's definitely a player you don't want to leave wide open. You got a couple three-pointers out there with Sims and with Stillwell. Chris Lee, too, for that matter. Lee, though, always a danger to drive, and there's a spin move into the lane, lays it up and in. Chris Lee getting it done.
His Shorecrest team, you know, tonight, it's just been, he can't leave anyone unguarded because any one of them can hurt you. I mean, we came into it, Phil Peppel and Chris Lee maybe, but, you know, unsurprising names come into this and, you know, make a name for themselves now, and it's like, there's nothing Terrace can really do.
Connor Williams looking to go down low to Peterson. The ball gets batted away. Chris Lee once again. Right side, floats one up. Goes over the top of the defender, leaves it short, a scramble for it. I think we're going to get a foul called against Shorecrest on this play. This one's going to be called against Latrell Jones, his 4th, the sophomore. And if you're the Shorecrest Scots, you're not too worried if you're Brian Fisher. You've got the 22-point lead. Might want to just leave the sophomore out there and see what he can do with that 4th foul. Then again, maybe not, as Fountain gets ready to check back in. Have to assume that he's probably coming in for Jones as Zerone picks up his dribble, fires it over the head of Peterson, out of bounds, and once again the Hawks with an unforced error, turning the ball back over to the Scots.
Mistake, mistake, mistake after mistake, Steve. It's been the theme of the night for the Hawks. Unfortunately, this was, these are two teams that can definitely match up against each other, and would not normally necessarily be a 20-point, or 22-point lead necessarily for Shorecrest, but it's just been unfortunate for the Hawks. It's really, they've been shooting themselves in the foot all night.
And hey, if you're going to do it early. Sixth game of the year, first league game. Certainly this is a game you wanted to come out and make a statement with, but you're hoping that lessons will be learned tonight. You've got Getchell waiting for you on Friday as Fountain throws up the three. Flat ball off the back iron, comes off, and we're going to get a foul called during the rebound. Pepple's going to be called for his third foul.
Yeah, Pepple's got 3 fouls, and they've all been pretty much the same call, just being a bit too physical. And it's not necessarily being too physical, it's just with his size, it comes off as being very physical on the smaller opponents.
Now down under 5 minutes to go here in the game. 4:42 showing on the clock. Zerun thought about the shot, throws it out to Hayes, almost picked off by Lee. Back to Zerun, baseline. Gets fronted, throws it underneath the hole. Fortunately gets it to Pepple, and we're gonna get a scramble for it. Nice job, Keegan, opportunistic there. Grabs it, puts up a shot, misses it. We've got a scramble. Fountain standing over Christensen, and everybody's getting a little chippy now. Mason Christensen has to be contained, and Eladio Fountain is not a small guy either by any means. I have a feeling we're gonna get Fountain called out of this game here right now. If you're Coach Fisher, you know that you've got a 22-point lead, 4:25 to go. No need to keep the sophomore in there if he's going to lose his cool like that.
Yeah,
and Brian Fisher, one of the more respectable coaches in the league, he's called his team over and huddling them right now. I'm sure he's having a very stern chat with a couple of those guys, one of which obviously is number 33.
That is indeed a tech on Eladio Fountain. This game's starting to break down.
Doug Miller over now explaining it to Coach Fisher what the call was. I could hear Coach Fisher yelling at him, "Can you explain to me what the call was?" Obviously, I think he knows one of the calls is a technical. I think he's wondering what the other call is, though, the actual game call.
Yeah, and
during a little bit of confusion here at the scores table, too, as they called a foul on a player number that doesn't exist. So we'll see what they end up doing here ultimately on the call. And Christensen missing the first free throw attempt. Hawks 1 for 5 from the free throw line. They make that 2 of 6 as he hits the second one.
Which has not been the night for Terrace. And if you're Terrace, you don't want this to break out into anything major or more than it needs to be. Don't want to get into any fights, nothing like that. Let's keep it classy.
Well, not only that, but you risk the chance of getting players suspended or worse, kicked off of teams for fighting. So really, in this day and age, they don't take too kindly to those sort of things. And both Fountain and Christensen need to calm it down a little bit. Mainly Fountain. He was the one that was kind of the instigator, and I think Fisher picked up on that. He put Fountain on the bench now as Christensen steps back into action and into the game, so they're going to keep him in.
Fountain did receive 2 fouls on that, the tech and just a regular foul.
Christensen with a spin move, baseline, fires it up. We get another whistle as Stillwell trying to plead his case by keeping his hand up in the air, but he in fact did make contact with Christensen, and for that, Mason will head to the line for 2 free throw shots.
That's Stillwell's first foul. 8 fouls for Shorecrest.
Christensen coming into the night 11 for 13 from the free throw line, including an 8 for 8 game earlier this year against Lake Washington. He hits the front end of the 2 free throws there, giving him a 2 for 3 number on the night so far from the charity stripe. Let's see if he can make it 3 for 4, and he cannot. Ball rims off into the hands of Acker. Still a 20-point game with 4:04 to go here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, if you're Terrace, you don't want this to devolve anything in any major. You just play it out. It's not over just yet, but for Terrace, hope is fleeting.
Yeah, Stillwell now working on the right side, kicks it on over to Scott. Shorecrest again I was going to say content to run the clock down, but when you leave Chris Lee a lane, he's going to take it, lays it in. Again, number 5, I think he was just very content on letting that clock tick away. However, as soon as he saw just a little bit of a gap in an opening, he wasn't going to waste that opportunity. No, sir. He gets right in there and makes a basket. Connor Williams doing likewise on the other end. He lays it up.
I mean,
he now has 12 on the night.
If anyone's played...
Steal for Christensen. Back to Williams. Williams puts the dribble out just a little too far in front of him, is able to get it back, though. Swings it on over to Christensen as the Hawks set their offense with 3:12 to go here in the fourth quarter.
I was going to say, if anyone's played well for Terrace tonight, it's definitely got to be Connor Williams. 12 points off the bench, nonetheless. You know.
Nice job down low for Hayes as he now puts himself into double digits on the evening. 10 points. A little roll move there towards the hoop.
Connor Williams has done as much as he can for this Terrace team.
2:52 to go here. As we mentioned earlier, Hawks taking to the road on Friday. Stillwell now being guarded by Williams. Hawks have 3 more games here in the Terraceum in the month of December as Christensen's going to get called for a foul. They've got West Valley from Yakima on Wednesday, December 20th, 5 p.m. start time. It's over the holiday break, so we're starting that game a little bit earlier. And then the Mountlake Terrace Holiday Tournament coming up. Hawks playing back-to-back 7:30 games. Thursday, December 28th, they've got Auburn Mountain View. And then on Friday, December 29th, the always tough Ferndale Golden Eagles as that ball rims off the front end of the 1-and-1. Pushing it on the other side. There's Christensen, pulls up from 13 feet out, misses the shot. Rebound coming down to Stillwell. 2:32 to go here in the game. 61-43. Scots with the lead. Nice stuff by Hayes. Knocks it right into the hands of Christensen. 2-on-1. Back to Christensen. Lays it up. Leaves it short. Hayes gets his hand on it. It's going to go out of bounds. And as we start to look further into the schedule here, Mountlake Terrace will resume league play on Friday, January 5th at Arlington. Arlington Eagles, another team that might be contending for Wesco 3A this year. So not an easy way to start off your first 2 games. You got the loss coming up tonight, and then you've got Arlington waiting for you January 5th on the road, I might add.
Substitution for Terry's Brady Blackmer into the game. Looks like Christensen will come to the bench.
Lee breaking the press, going all the way to the hoop, goes from left hand to right hand, layup into the basket. He now has 6 for the quarter, 9 for the half. Unofficially, we've got Chris Lee at 22 points on the night. The leading scorer for the Scots, leading scorer for either team for that matter, is Hayes is going to put up a 3 ball off the front of the rim. It bounces out. Brady Blackmer getting in there, gets his hand on the ball and knocks it out of bounds. They're going to say it was actually last touched by Braden Victor. Victor checking into the game for the first time tonight, as is number 13, Kobe Isep. They leave Hayes open on the pass, and Acker there to swat it away, knocks it into the hands of his teammate, Jack Sims. Now down to 1:39 to go here in the ball game. By the way, Shorecrest, they got a home game against Everett coming up this Friday. That's a league game. And then they're going to play in the Bothell Holiday Classic. This isn't quite the 1-2 punch. They've got O'Day on Friday night. That's an 8 p.m. game over at Bothell High School. Very next night, they're going to play the host team, the Bothell Cougars, December 29th and 30th. So Shorecrest is going to get tested a little bit over the break. As Blackmer knocks that ball away, Hayes picks it up. Tries to go one-on-one with Acker. Acker waiting for it. His second block in as many attempts. Hayes and Acker a little bit of a push off there, and Acker finally fades away and says, I'm just trying to get out of here with a victory. I don't need to be messing with you.
Yeah, for Terrace, you know, nothing's really changed since they went on that big run and Shorecrest was able to change it back. It's been missed free throws, lots of blocks on Shorecrest's end, you know, bad passes. It's unfortunate that this game is going to come out so lopsided.
Blackmer hitting the front end of a 1-and-1, his first point of the night. Blackmer coming into the game, averaging 3.4 points per game. 2 for 3, I might add, from three-point range this season as he hits his second free throw.
Brady, a sophomore, not someone who gets a ton of time, but it's good to see him on the floor.
Well, if you want a positive in a loss like this, at least you're able to give your younger players some more experience. And Blackmer almost getting the pick there as he knocks it out of the hands of Victor, and we're going to finally get a foul called with 58.4 seconds remaining. And Shorecrest is going to call a timeout. We'll take a quick break. 63-45. Don't go anywhere. We'll have our player of the game afterwards as well. You're watching the Hawk Broadcast Network. And welcome back for the final 58.4 seconds to go. Mountlake Terrace looks like they're going to drop their first game of the year and fall to 5-1 on the season. Unfortunately, they'll be 0-1 in league play as we're now down under the minute mark. Should also mention the girls playing tomorrow night. The Lady Hawks going to be at Shorecrest High School to take on the Scots. Nice win for them last week, 38-24 over Cascade. Jazz Zink and Kira Scott each with 11 points apiece in that game as Hayes is going to get called for a foul with 39 seconds to go. And hey, why not prolong the inevitable just a little bit longer as Calvin Acker's going to step to the line shooting 1-1. And
that's going to be
Brendan Hayes is going to go ahead and take a seat because he's got 5 fouls.
You know, it was a tough night for Brendan Hayes all night. Got a lot of blocked shots. Tough night. He had to go up against Phil Pebble all night. But we're going to see Jesse James Martineau check into this game for some minutes.
Yeah, Martineau wearing that number 24. Getting a little bit of playing time. He's been swinging a little bit this year, playing JV and varsity. Acker looking for his first points of the evening. And is still looking for his first points as he misses the front end of the 1-1. Martineau gets on the stat sheet with a rebound, kicks over to Peterson. 3 ball. Mason Peterson with his 3rd 3 of the game. He now has double figures as we'll give him 11 points on the evening. Making the game look a little more respectable as the Hawks are down by 15 and they get the steal from Martineau. Kicks over the hole. Peterson thought about a 25-footer there. 15 seconds remaining. Let's see if the Hawks can get one more. Connor Williams for 3. Why not?
Connor Williams definitely got to be the man of the hour for Terrace.
15 points on the night for Williams, including 4 threes. Hawks making this a 12-point game, and Martineau playing a little too intense. Nice job. That was nothing but clean play there as he gets up, gives Braden Victor a high five and says, hey, didn't mean to do that to you. And Braden responds with acknowledging that he knew it as well.
Jesse almost maybe looking like a little bit of a football tackle there.
Well,
just trying to play this some good defense. Can't blame him.
You got your Hawks quarterback going against Victor, who was starting at safety for a large chunk of the year for Shorecrest and has also started at quarterback in the past for them. So certainly 2 guys who know a thing or two about contact. Also, it's good to see them showing respect for one another. Victor missing the front end of a 1-1, so he's not going to get any points tonight. 3 ball goes off the back of the iron. The game is over. Shorecrest will come away with a 63-51 victory over the Hawks, running their record to 5-1 on the year, 1-0 in league play. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get to our player of the game. All right, and welcome back to the Terraceum. The final score tonight, Shorecrest pulling off the 63-51 victory over Mountlake Terrace. And with us, our HBN player of the game, and you even get a shirt, Chris Lee, right there. There's the logo. Chris, 22 points tonight. More importantly for you guys, you get the victory. How important was it to get a victory in your first league game of the season?
Oh, it's crucial, especially against Terrace, since we historically we've kind of struggled with them.
Well, tell me about that a little bit. Is this a? I mean, we know it's a rivalry, but
yes,
certainly a game that you guys struggled with last year.
Yeah.
Was that talked about in the locker room in the lead-up?
Absolutely, yeah. Every year we come to Terrace, there's always a little scrappy. You saw that kind of at the end of the game, but yeah, this year I felt like we had a lot more composure through most of the game. We were able to, the scoreboard kind of showed that.
Absolutely. Tell me about the season a little bit in general. You guys get off to the loss against Seattle Prep, a game that I attended, so I got a chance to watch it. I know you picked up those 2 charges early in the game, put you on the bench a lot of the first half. What did you guys take away from that game? What were some of the lessons that you've learned that you were able to apply to the next 5 games so far?
Well, I mean, that game, a lot of it was a wake-up call for our team. Like, we graduated 8 seniors last year, so this is a pretty young team, and I think that game kind of opened some eyes, because last year we had obviously a really good season. So coming into the season, I think we kind of expected stuff to be given to us. That game, they murdered us. That kind of opened our eyes that we need to actually work hard to get wins.
Speaking of slow starts, tonight you guys were down 12-2. I mean, early on in the game, you get that 10-point deficit. And this is a Mountlake Terrace team that's been blowing people out this year. Was there concern? Was there a conversation going on the bench? I know Coach Fisher called a quick timeout. What was talked about in the huddle, and what did you guys do differently?
I mean, I feel like in the beginning we were just missing shots. We had open shots, and obviously when you're down 12, there's always a little bit of worry. But I think we were getting open shots, so I thought all along that we could get back in it. If we started making those, I thought we were going to get right back in the game, and we did.
Tell me what it's like to have a guy like Philip Peppel on your team, and what it means for you as a guard, knowing that, I mean, we saw the one play you went in, you drove to the lane, you had a nice look, it just rolls off, and he's there to clean it up, right?
Oh yeah, no, he's a monster. Everywhere, he gets boards. On defense, if you get beat, he always got your back in the paint. Like here, he opens up looks for the guards when he's in the middle. Mountlake Terrace was doubling him. That was giving us open threes everywhere. He's tremendous. I love Philip.
Tell me about Wesco 3A real quick. What are you looking forward to this year? You look at the schedule, and it seems like it's fairly top-heavy. There's 6 or 7 teams that could all make a nice run at this. Any games in particular that you're looking forward to more than others, just based on previous performances? Maybe a team that got you guys last year, or maybe just a team that you really want to beat this year?
Well, I'm really excited for Stanwood. They're not really close to us, but they're kind of our other rival. Mm-hmm. We saw them in the district championship last year. We saw each other in league. Both of those are great games, so that's always what we're looking forward to, Stanwood.
Do you like the fact that that game is so late in the season again this year? I mean, last year was the final game of the year too. So
it's a lot of fun, because usually we're both up there at the top, and it kind of leads up to us playing them at the end, and that's always so much fun.
So we will see. And we should also mention, too, you guys have big games coming against O'Day and Bothell over the holiday break. Are you excited for those games?
Yeah. No, the Bothell tournament's great. Last year we ended up winning the Bothell tournament, and that, like, in terms of postseason, that really helps our RPI, because we get to play teams outside of Wesco, get to play those other teams that are highly ranked in state.
Well, best of luck to you guys. Hey, again, appreciate you coming over. 22 points. We're going to let him keep this shirt right here. Chris Lee is our player of the game. Chris, hey, congratulations tonight, and best of luck this season.
Thank you.
All right, we'll let Chris go and join his teammates at this time. So again, 63-51 victory. They go to 5-1 on the year. The Hawks also 5-1 still, so certainly a chance for them to learn a little bit from this game tonight, see what they can do differently, and to regroup and to come back strong on Friday night. Again, they're going to be up at Marysville Getchell. If you're waiting for your next home game, December 20th, right here in the Terraceum. Again, 5 o'clock start time that night against West Valley of Yakima. Getting you just a real quick recap on the individual scores tonight for the Hawks. Mason Christensen, 4 points. Connor Williams with 15. Brady Blackmer with 2. Keegan Grayson Zarun, 2 points. Kyrie Armstead, only 7 points tonight, well below his average. Mason Peterson, 11 points. Brendan Hayes, 10 points, and that will do your scoring for tonight. And again, Chris Lee leading the way for Shorecrest with 22. Philip Peppel, well, he ended up throwing down, as we counted him up here real quick, 15 points. Also, Antonio Stillwell with a nice night. He chipped in what looks to be 13 points. So again, congratulations to Shorecrest. And we are off the air until, I guess, January 12th will be our next broadcast. Mountlake Terrace versus Meadowdale. Wesco 3A rival game, Edmonds School District rival game right here at the Terraceum. We look forward to seeing you there. Until then, happy holidays to everybody. Happy New Year. We will see you again in 2018. Have a good night.